Hey guys, hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. Your boy is back with another subreddit video, and today we're diving back into r/OhNoConsequences. The last time we did this was the first time, and I love this subreddit. For those of you that don't know, the subreddit is described as, you know, how there are people who are genuinely shocked by the consequences of their words and actions. Well, here we go. These are going to be some goofy stories that people find on Reddit or just in various situations where people are just genuinely oblivious towards the common sense that if you do something, more than likely the consequences is going to be this thing. So I'm excited to dive into this with you. And if you are new to my channel and you enjoy content like this, we do it every single day on this channel. So make sure you guys stay tuned by hitting the subscribe and the notification bell. Also, if you do enjoy the video, make sure you hit the like and comment as well. It helps me with the algorithm a lot, and I love engaging with your guys' content. And for those of you that want to support the channel during this time of demonetization that I'm going through, make sure you guys hit the first link in the description box to check out the Patreon. We do daily exclusive extended content every single day. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into this. Oh no consequences. And you guys seem to enjoy this as well, because last time we did this, there was a good amount of views. All right, let's see what's popping this week. So this one says plumber returns to reclog pipe after restaurant refuses to pay bill. Oh gosh. All right. So this is on a Facebook post. I'm going to put my hood on because I am under the weather slightly, so kind of cold. Hevron Plumbing Company owner Joel Hevron said that the restaurant has a history of being slow to make payments to his business. So the plumber returns to reclog the pipe after restaurant refused to pay the bill. I mean, what do you expect? If you're not paying him at this point, like, what's he supposed to do? I wouldn't have even done any service. That's crazy. Let's read what the post says, though. The owner of the restaurant is quoted as saying that the plumber and slash situation is ridiculous and that they'd hate for something similar to happen to all his other clients. I bet the other clients pay him, though. Yeah, dude, what do you mean? If you don't pay for something, you're not going to get the service. That's just what it is. Owners of the restaurants in Indiana say that the plumber returned to reclog their pipes over a disputed bill. Thai bistro and bar restaurant operations manager Jesse Sanders said that the kitchen's grease trap started to overflow. They called the Hevron Plumbing Company to fix the block. 3 days later, when it happened again, Sanders said that the restaurant called the plumber back, this time saying it was an emergency. After Hevron Plumbing returned for the second job, Sanders said that they received a bill for nearly double of what they had already paid for his first visit, since the plumber already returned on overtime hours. Sanders said the exact same work was done twice, but the second time he was charged nearly double. I was shocked. Couldn't believe it. Like, okay, is this really happening? Sanders said. The first bill was $235 and the second was $390. And Sanders said that he refused to pay the second one. It's not about the money, Sanders said. It's about him, the plumber, just standing behind his work. After refusing to pay the second bill, restaurant surveillance cameras showed the plumber returning the next morning to reclog the pipes. Dude, that is so funny. Oh, that's awesome. The following day, dude, this is so silly. This seems like a freaking sitcom episode. We received the text message saying that he's on our property. Sanders said he put a balloon into our grease trap and he's not going to remove it until we pay. Text exchange between, that is next level petty. Text exchanges between the parties show that the restaurant owners were given about an hour to pay their bill before the plumber would leave for the weekend. If we were to leave the balloon in there, it would overflow the restaurants with water, dirty water from the grease trap, Sanders said. Basically, we would have had to shut down. Damn, I wonder if this got into like court and stuff. This is crazy. The restaurant owner called police to the bistro to mediate with officers on the scene, and the bill paid. Hevron Plumbing removed the balloon. The restaurant said that the bill was handed over, was ultimately marked as paid under protest. Hevron Plumbing Company owner Joel Hevron told WFIE over the phone that the restaurant had a history of being slow to make payments to his business in the past. Evansville Police Department officer Anthony Asker, is it Asker? I don't know how to say that, said that these type of matters normally settled in small claims court, but Hevron said he didn't want to go that route and instead took matters into his own hands. Frankly, it was not worth me pursuing it in court, Hevron said. It was not worth my time. I mean, look, if you pay for something you get that service, right? But if you don't pay, again, I work in the nail salon industry. If you guys didn't know, I co-own a nail salon with my sister. And like, there has been times where we'll fully do a nail service and then someone complains about it, but after it was done. They didn't complain about it in the middle of it where we could have tweaked it. They complained when we were done with the set, and they're trying to get fucking free service. I know this, how this works, guys. And like, I'm telling them, hey, look, you can't leave without paying. I mean, we can fix it for you, or if you want something fixed, but you're not leaving without paying, buddy. Yeah, it's kind of insane. I don't know. In my case, I'm on the side of the plumbing company just because I work in the service industry, so I get how it is. It is definitely petty what he did, though. It's hilarious. So he said it wasn't worth his time. Although the bill was paid and the matters were settled, Sanders said that the whole situation was ridiculous. Being a small business owner, we don't want that to continue to happen to other customers and clients of his, Sanders said. It's just ridiculous that it had to come down to this. Yeah, well, if you pay stuff, you get the service. That's just how it works. I was assuming he charged an extra 1,000 or something, but charging 150 for overtime sounds reasonable. Yeah, it was an emergency call too. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have told you the price beforehand, but I am curious about that. Did he just do it and then charge you? Because then that is kind of fucked up, but who knows? Wow, that was funny. What a great way. It makes me feel a little bit better since I'm under the weather. That laugh. All right, this one says, my professor regraded my assignment and now my grade is even lower. No way. The OOP in the comments does not really explain how the professor is being retaliatory against them. All right, here we go. So we're on r/college, and the post says an 85 out of 100 to a 53 out of 100. This is an obvious retaliation, and I've already gone to the assistant dean, but the assistant dean also seems to be siding with him that he can change the grade to a failing one just because he reevaluated it. I made sure to explain to the dean it was retaliatory, and my grades prior do not reflect or warrant the change he made, simply because he was offended. Yeah, why are you complaining about an 85 though? Like, you got an 85 and then you sent it in to him to look over it. The dean suggested I resubmit the assignment I originally got an 85 on. Now that is now an 53, or that I could drop out. I'm sorry, but that is wild to me. The assignment was never failing to begin with. I don't feel comfortable turning any more graded work with this professor, and I feel at an impasse. I requested a mediator because I refused to disregard his jeopardization and unethical behavior. No mediator was granted. Well, yeah, you're in a class. The teacher is the one who grades you. What? You can't grade yourself. Where should I go next with this kind of retaliation? I've never had a professor blatantly retaliate like that because they were offended on asking about a grade. But what is the obvious evidence that he retaliated? I need to know. I had an A in the class and now my grade is totally shit. Can a professor retroactively lower a grade they've already been graded? Yes, he can. Is it a dick move? Yes, but he also has the right to. I have an organic so this is another post on a different subreddit, but it's the same thing. So he gave me an 85 on the lab report, and his only comment on the assignment was difficult to follow. I followed the grading rubric very carefully, so I was put off by this. All the data and method was correct. I emailed him and asked him where the point deductions actually took place. I then asked him to reevaluate the grade with the rubric. You sound insufferable. He then shockingly retaliated and changed the grade to a 53. He said that I was disrespectful, and then he said, I've regraded the assignment like you've asked. He suddenly had notion all over the lab report that wasn't there prior, but it was clearly him trying to prove a point. An 85 to a 53. This is an obvious retaliation, but I've already gone to the assistant dean, but the thing is, he already explained why you got an 85. So you going back to him, I mean, I don't know. This is a weird one. I don't know how I feel about this. Dude, talks about the dean thing. The dean suggested I reset. Okay, so this is the same shit again, honestly. Yeah, so post twice. Let's read the comments. The hard to follow comment indicates that the professor probably couldn't really follow the work, but the answers seemed right and all the key words were there. The instance on The regrading forced the professor to read it closely and try to follow the thinking and theory properly, at which point he realized that the student was really lacking understanding and the paper was pretty nonsensical and was just hitting keywords. Okay. See, that gave me perspective because I didn't think about it in that way. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense then. Yep, as an instructor, when I'm grading tests, I usually give the students the benefit of the doubt. If they have specific keywords I'm looking for, I mark it right. Now, if they were a dick and complained about the passing grade, also 85 is a good grade. What are you fucking tripping on? I just scrutinize a bit more and it would probably be lower. Yeah. I don't know what he thought or she thought the consequences would have been. Like, what? This is why I love this subreddit. Like, come on, dude. This is like common sense shit. Whoa, here we go. This sounds intense. My brother's wife is a B and doesn't know why she's left out of plans. All right, here we go. So this is off of AITA, and we love that. Or AITH, actually. So am I the a-hole for telling my brother I'm not going to advocate for his wife to be included more when she's rude to mine? Juicy. My wife, 32, is very close to my 33-year-old family. All right. Wait, no, sorry. I'm stupid. I said 33-year-old family. All right. My wife, 32, and OP is 33. Is very close to his family. We were childhood best friends, high school sweethearts, and we've been together for 18 years now. Wow, that's amazing. Like, whenever I see those, I'm just like, good for you guys, because I could not be me. They've known her all that time, and my mom adores her, and they're incredibly close. Actually, my mom has a good relationship with all but one of her children's partners. My younger brother's Aiden's wife is the exception. Aiden's 29, and his wife's 27. Aiden married Jem last year. They dated for a couple years before that. At first, we all got along pretty good with Jem, but then suddenly, she suddenly started being a D to my wife. Oof. It started with a subtle comment that my wife said, very subtle comments that my wife said were nothing, and I was just overreacting. While others would joke that my wife was my mom's favorite kid, Jem would sound bitter and jealous about that. Then her comments turned mean about it. The jokes about it, which were never very frequent, stopped after that, but Jen would bring them up anyways. Then it was comments about exhausting. It must be for my wife to have okay, sorry. He's missing like words, so it's hard to read. Then it was comments about how exhausting it must be for my wife to have so many people who want her attention and time. Okay, so this sounds like Aiden's wife is jealous of your wife, which like you shouldn't be, but like yeah, it's a tough situation. Like when you're hearing the mom say like, that must be her favorite child and stuff, you know? Those are sparked by my siblings' parents, also getting along with my wife, not to mention my mom and wife hanging out, and then my wife and I having kids together. I asked Jem what her problem was, spoke to Aiden one-on-one as well, and others spoke up in defense of my wife. Jem's biggest issue has always appeared to be my mom and my wife being close. I don't know why it drives her crazy, but it does. Like, I get it, but at the same time, like, what do you expect? They knew each other since she was a kid. Like, it's hard to base. That's the thing. Once you start comparing yourself, that's the death of everything. Instead of just trying to be a good person and trying to get along and being happy for people, which is hard to do. Like, I understand a lot of people are just gonna be jealous in this situation. So I'm not saying that it's like easy, but I'm saying that is the route you would want to go. But again, easier said than done. Now, Aiden's frustrated because Jem isn't including the way my wife and the other partners are. The fact mom will do days with her daughter-in-law and Jem isn't invited. Or that my wife will do girl stuff with the women in our family, but she doesn't invite Jem because eventually she got sick of Jem too. She was better than me at brushing it off for a while, but I think anyone would get annoyed at someone treating them like shit. Well, yeah, that's where Jem fucks up. Like the fact that she's openly treating them like crap because she's jealous, that's where it's messed up. Jealousy is one thing, but when you start retaliating and start insulting people and stuff, like, come on. So Aiden came to me hoping I'd advocate for Jem to be included. He said she just feels left out and wants to be included. I told him that it was a funny way of she has a funny way of showing it. He said she knows she's messed up, but to give her another chance for him. I told him I was not going to advocate for his wife's inclusion when she was so rude to mine. I told him he needs to get Jem to make it up to everyone and work towards her inclusion, or else she's going to stay an outsider. I told him I get that his loyalty is with his own wife, but mine will always be with my wife. Damn, that right there, that's a huge line people got to understand. I told him that I get that his loyalty is with his own wife, but mine will always be with my wife. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, that's very socially aware and emotionally aware that he knows, look, I get what you're doing, bro. You're going to be out for your wife. And you have to also understand that I'm also looking out for my wife. And that's just the way that we're doing this. This has nothing to do between me and you at all. I respect that. He told me someone on our side needs to try or help Jem, or Jem will feel like she's wasting her time. I told him it's not me. It's not on me. He tried to pull some brotherly crap and I told him to knock it off and accept my answer. Obviously, he hates that. My wife said she'd have no problem if Jen apologized and actually stopped with her comments. And she's glad I told Aiden and Jem what Jem needed to do. Aiden keeps telling me I was a D and could have done more. Am I the a-hole? No. I mean, what does Jem expect? If you're going to fucking be mean to people, what do you expect? Hey, buddy, you want to be in the video? Yeah? Your fans haven't seen you in a while, Bo. And Sora's back. You want to talk? Or are you going to be shy again? It's funny because my cats are actually not shy at all. But as soon as they're on camera, like mega talkative, especially when guests are over too. All right, comments say, bah, man, there is nothing better than when a bully realizes people won't want to spend time to them due to their behavior. Yeah, like, what do bullies expect, man? They expect to talk crap and all this, and then but still be able to be a part of everything. I mean, have you not seen Mean Girls? Like that's Regina George is a great lesson at that. Yeah. Crazy. One of the comments say, my brother married a gem. She just couldn't figure out why we weren't close. She had the misfortune of asking me, the much younger surprise baby sibling. So I gave her a list of shitty things that she did that I could remember. The look on her face was manipulative when her manipulative tactic didn't work. Yeah, dude, that's savage. Giving them a whole list. Oh gosh, what is this one? All right, this one reads, I made my son's life a living hell. Why doesn't he care about me now? Oh, I wonder why. All right, we're back on AITAH. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister nobody was surprised when her kids said that he did not care why she was alive or not? Oof. Oh, that's your sister too? Damn. I come from a big family. We are 5 siblings, 2 sets of twins, 50, which is my sister, her twin who passed. Oh, I'm so sorry. 47, who's OP, and my little brother. 47, me and my brother, same age. And then 42, my other 2 sisters. Damn, that's a lot of kids. We are talking about our biggest one. What? Okay. Or your oldest one, you mean? Like the oldest sister? Okay, so the 50-year-old. We're talking about her. My parents were really careful to not parentify him because they both had the same fate in their family. They took good care of us. All of us had fruitful and satisfying careers. The problem is, at least for my sister, they didn't push us there. They encouraged, but they never had any expectation. This was the problem for my biggest sister. She always found them lazy and unmotivated, and she limited contact with us. Are she talking about like your sister towards the siblings? That's what I'm assuming. This is really weirdly worded. She always found them lazy and unmotivated, and she limited contact with us after she graduated law school. She has become a very successful lawyer, married to a renowned surgeon who is my friend from medical school, a really ambitious guy who also has a real OCD, and has had a son that is now the age of 32 via IVF. It was all planned. After she had her son, aka my nephew, she started to push him really hard. She was trying to make him read at the age of 2. She sent him, 2 is crazy. She sent him to piano lessons at the age of 4. God damn, she sounds like an Asian mother. I'm just playing. And had one-on-one tutors since he was in 1st grade. He was never allowed to have free time or any moment of his life, because every moment of his life was curated. God, that sounds miserable. I can already tell where this is going. Like, you can't raise a kid like that. They got to have some free time to lollygag, dude. The only time slot he had was Saturday afternoon, in which he would visit my parents, and we would always planned events and free time for him. His teenage years were absolute hell. He was forced beyond his capacities by my sister and brother-in-law. And when he was 16, he tried to commit. Wow. Okay. I have to blur that. at the hospital my brother-in-law works at. Wow, trying to do it there by stealing benzos from the nurse counter. After that, damn, poor kid. He was really going through it. He had a good time in the inpatient ward, 5 months in ward, 3 months in the group home, and after that, he wanted to stay with me. I am the only one of my siblings who does not have a kid, and I live with my husband in a 3-story villa. Damn, you're doing good with yourself. So he can have the roof to himself. My brother-in-law had an awakening, and he divorced my sister after this. Whoa. Him and my nephew had a year of family therapy, and last summer he moved back in with my brother-in-law, and he had decided to pursue medicine. I don't live in the US. Medical school starts directly after high school, and it is 6 years. During this time, my sister really dug into her heels. She blamed us and my brother-in-law for letting him be weak. Oh, your sister sounds horrible. That's the thing. The people who are like so driven by success and money, and it is important. Success and money, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not important. It is. But when you're solely driven by that, you lose touch of what is important in life in general. Like, if you really think life, someone's value and the way that they pass and everything is deemed by how much money they make and how much success they've had, you will have and have had a depressing life, because like that's not fun at all, dude. And like, what is all that for when you're in the grave? You know, like when you're down, what is that money for? Yeah, for your kids. Yeah, 100%. But then you didn't have any experiences. You're laying in your deathbed and you're like, damn, my life sucked, you know? So like, I don't know. Everybody has a different purpose in life, but to me, you shouldn't have it as money or success. She said that he was alive and he had to endure this so that he could become resilient and untouchable. Okay. Dude, he was a kid. She said in the court, I don't care if he feels bad. This is life. You either climb the ladder or you fall down. Damn, she sucks. If he fell down, there is nothing we can do. Life goes on. I never saw someone to look with pure anger like the head judge did. And he said, you are a really successful lawyer. I should give you that. But you are a really terrible person. And a being that can't be called a parent. And turned to my brother-in-law and said, you need a lot of help. A lot of help. Last January, my sister had a mini stroke, TIA, and she genuinely started to think about her life, as I understood from my brother, who is the only one of us who checks up on her. And last week, she tried to reach to my nephew, but he directly said that he did not care if she was alive or not. Wow. I mean, what do you expect, though? When she tried to talk to me about that, I briefly said, what were you expecting, sis? And closed the call. Now all my family calls me an a-hole and think that I should have supported her. I mean, you're being real, dude. Yeah, you can support her. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you're telling her as it is. That's kind of a form of support. Like, honesty to your siblings, like, what were you expecting to happen? That's why I'm so blessed to have like the sibling that I have and like the family that I have, because everybody's just so chill and loves each other. Like, it's great. And I know like not all people have those situations. And don't get me wrong, I mean, we have our quarrels too, and I've gotten in fights with my sister and stuff. But overall, we're pretty like love towards each other. And so like it sucks when I hear shit like this. And I know that this is common too, like where like people just raise their kids so badly. Like, that's just such a shitty upbringing. I feel so bad for the kid. Well, not a kid anymore, 32, so older than me. See, this is what people mean when we see comments like, your child will stop speaking to you when they're older. Yeah, dead ass, bro. You can't raise your kid like a machine. If you raise them to be a machine, they will treat you like a machine would. Cold, you know? OP sis is going to retire at Shady Pines. Whoa, that's a good Golden Girls reference. Yeah, that's funny. All right, let's read one more, and then I'll go on to the Patreon video for those that are Patreon members. All right, let's pick a shorter one. I'm going to save that one for Patreon. Oh, I think I've seen this one before, actually. This one says homemade water slide. Who would have seen this coming? With dad making his own water slide. So someone, yeah, I've definitely seen this on like Instagram Reels or something. So this is a dad who's testing out the water slide. Oh my gosh.
You all right?
The sound of his head smacking the side right before he flew out and bounced onto the pool is gut-wrenching. Yep. What do other comments say? The Widowmaker 9000, top tier childhood memories. You can hear the pain before you even see him. Yeah, dude, that was tough. Dude got whiplash, concussion, broken ribs, pavement burn, lost 4 teeth, and all for fun. That is not an engineer. Yeah, dude. What is that? How would that stop you? The slide itself is cool, but to put it in that, like, you need an in-ground pool that it goes into. That is so risky. What a dumbass. That's so funny, though. All right. Well, we'll end it on that note. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For the Patreon members, I'll see you there. We'll read some more of these. And then for those of you that are still listening, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.